Hi everyone, this is my lesson 7 discussion post. So this is the first question. Recall a time where you're part of a team at work or at school. Do your team experience all the stages of the Tuckerman's model? Explain. Do you think a team can skip over one of the stages? Why or why not? So I think it's important to get familiar with what the model is. The model is by stages is 1 forming, 2 storming, 3 norming, 4 performing, and 5 adjourning. And that could be a little confusing. The first one is the actual formation of the group. The second step is like the brainstorming part of it, getting all your ideas together where somebody might have a different idea than another person. Um, is how you kind of get everything working, how you like the actual start of the project. Then the third one is norming, which is now you have all your ideas together. Let's start getting everything going, like the real start of it. The storming part was the initial go, but the third one is really like your all the gears are moving. Number 4 is performing. This is like your peak when you're working the hardest, when you're in school. So my example would be just working on a school project in general. Um, it's not always the easiest, but when you get people that actually work together, this Tuckerman's model is actually pretty good to follow. Just because, especially in school, when you get put into groups, which is you're forming part of it, sometimes you don't get to choose who you're with. So making sure that steps 2, 3, and 4 are all getting done, where you're brainstorming, you're starting, and then you're actually being productive, is a good good 4 steps to that. The 5th step would be adjourning, which is when you're kind of done, you debrief, you review, kind of making sure that everybody got their individual job done, because you're in a group, but you want to make sure you're getting your individual parts done, because everybody works together. If you're 5 people, everybody's doing the exact same amount of work, and you're making sure that everything's getting done. So mine is a very general example. I don't believe that you can skip over any of these steps. I think they're all essential. All 5 of these steps work off of each other. They're kind of a stack. 1 has to work in order for 2 to work. 2 has to work in order in 3, and so on and so forth. So you can't really skip one because you miss a key part in that. So then the next question was, what are the pros and cons of having a team leader for a particular team? What problems might the addition of a team leader create for a group? So pros and cons of it is some people don't like to be led, especially when it comes to a school project. You want to feel like you have your own power to do whatever you'd like to do. You like to be able to have the same amount of voice as somebody, because especially in school, you don't have higher up. When it comes to work, you have a boss or you have a manager, and that's where I think those circumstances work a little bit better. The problems that could arise is, you want to be heard. You want to make sure that your point's getting across, and if somebody's higher up than you, your word doesn't mean as much as somebody else's. Some of the pros could be, especially like in a workplace, not as much as in school, like I said, but in the workplace, you have your employees, and you have your managers, and then you have your bosses. And there's a lot more positions in between there, but that's very basic. As an employee, you look up to your manager, and your manager answers to your boss. So in order to get these problems done, or when you're working in a team to get something done in a work environment, it's good to have a leader. In school, I don't believe so, just because you're all students at the end of the day, and you're all working towards a grade in that class. But like I said, when you get into the workplace, yes, it's good to have a team leader.